South African performer, activist and songwriter Simphiwe Dana is in Cape Town this month for a production showcasing spiritual intimacy. Titled MOYA, the production takes place at the Artscape Theatre on Friday the 26th and Saturday the 27th of January. Dana joins me now. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, Ms. Dana. So your upcoming production, MOYA, is described as an exploration of spiritual intimacy with a cappella music as well as contemporary African dance. Could you share more about the inspiration behind MOYA and how it has evolved since its inception?
Thank you firstly for having me. MOYA was my exploration of coming to terms with grief. MOYA was born of a kind of desperation for me to find a way of accepting my loss, and that was the loss of my mom. And this was around the very heavy times of COVID, where we were all experiencing loss, and it was so difficult to find comfort from others because they themselves were experiencing their own losses. So in a way, we all felt, or rather let me speak of myself, I felt very isolated in my grief because I felt it would be selfish of me to put this on someone else who's also going through something similar. So MOYA was born out of that, in the form of finding healing for myself, but just in the main, just coming to terms with it. And in a way, what that did was to connect me with the spiritual. In any way. I suddenly realized that there is life after death. There is a connection with the beyond. And this life can continue even after such a tremendous loss.
It's quite interesting for me that the show is set to deconstruct your musical catalogue and also take us back to your a cappella roots. What motivated this decision, and what do you hope audiences will experience through this, call it a re-evaluation of your work?
Well, the thing about my a cappella work is this is how I write. So it's the most innocent part of my work. And I just wanted people to see that side of it. Because instrumentation is beautiful, but it can change the tone of the work sometimes. So I wanted people to feel the emotions I was going through when I wrote the songs, and that is why I wanted to go back to the a cappella roots of the work.
Collaborating with Gregory Makoma, of course we know him as a prolific artistic director and choreographer as well. It does add a unique dimension to MOYA. How has this collaboration influenced the narrative and also the presentation of the show, particularly in showcasing this interaction of the arts?
Well, it is another form of expression, of expressing the music. It adds a layer to the understanding of the emotion in the music. I've worked with Greg Makoma on a number of productions, including both symphony experiences and on his project as well, Exist, etc., etc. We have a long-standing relationship that goes back many, many years.
So we've already spoken about what inspired this project. So the fusion of social commentary as well as activism in your music is quite well known. In what ways does MOYA then continue to express these aspects, and how does it contribute to the broader conversation around political art and social awareness as well?
Well, what MOYA does really, we've gone through different stages, since apartheid, let's say, ended, right? What we have not explored is the spiritual aspect, which then really deals with identity. how we are, like how we conduct ourselves culturally and spiritually. Like those two are quite married in many ways. So this aspect, which really connects us to our identity, is the one thing that we haven't explored in our bid to be free. So what MOYA does, it goes to that level.
Ms. Dana,
as Steve said, we have to infuse back life dignity to the empty husk of the black person, right? And as long as we don't deal with issues of identity, as long as we don't explore who we were before we were colonized, then there's something missing.
There's something missing.
So MOYA deals with that African spiritual understanding of how our world is or should be.
As we wrap up our conversation, Ms. Dana, as an artist, you're also an activist and songwriter, like we mentioned in my intro, and your work often intersects with broader societal issues. How do you see the role of the arts, and particularly music, in addressing and reflecting on contemporary social challenges in the country?
Well, music is the one form that permeates the social fabric. Music will hit you when you're alone. So it's an easier way of communicating the message than just, speaking on a loudspeaker and then talking to the people. Because of the emotional aspect and of the fact that it is not, maybe let me say, forceful.
Yeah.
Music is the best way to communicate, right? If you want people to listen to, like some people say, put it in a book. I say, put it in a song, and it will get to the people.
That is absolutely beautiful. We are grateful to have Simphiwe Dana here with us, giving us insights into the profound and meaningful journey that MOYA promises to be. If you're in Cape Town at that time, don't miss the opportunity